Hey guys, welcome to another video. I'm Chris and this is the Salty Strikes Fishing Channel. And today we are going to talk about hook size, why it matters, and how is it going to catch you more fish. So this is what we're going to go over. I mostly fish saltwater, so this is probably going to, if you're a freshwater guy, this, you may get some info from this too, but this is mostly for saltwater. I fish mostly inline circle hooks. That's non-offset circle hooks. And most of the regulations on the East Coast and West Coast say if you're fishing, bottom fishing and the reefs and stuff like that, you're supposed to be using inline circle hooks. This is not about regulations and stuff like that, so you guys can look that up on your own because people make a lot of mistakes, and we're going to go over all that mess, so stick around for that. All right guys, we are going to just start from the beginning. Let's talk hook size. I know you probably heard this before. The different hook sizes are measured in two different ways, and the verbal aught, which is like 1/0, 2/0, 3/0, 4/0, so on and so forth, and that goes bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you have the number 1 hook, number 2 hook, number 3 hook, and that as the number grows bigger, the hook grows smaller. So like you may use like a number 4 hook to catch like little pilchards or little bait fish, but you want a bigger, like a 6/0, maybe if you're trying to catch a grouper or something like that. And there is no standard, there's no ANSI standard for hook sizes, so every manufacturer is going to be a little bit different, so you just kind of got to look at each manufacturer, and like just because Mustad has a 3/0 inline circle hook and Trocar has a 3/0 inline circle hook, they're not going to be exact same size, and all of them are just made a little bit different gap sizes, different shank length, and all that mess. So you're just gonna have to look at those and figure out what's going to work best for you, and that's what I'm going to kind of talk about here a little bit. There's mainly 3 things that you're looking for when you're looking for hooks and what size you need to use. I had a friend not too long ago I went fishing with, and he was busting out his equipment and stuff, and he had all these J hooks for one thing, but they were all huge, and we were fishing for like lane snapper, vermilion snapper, and you're gonna catch maybe sharks with that thing, I don't know, but you got to match the hook to the fish has got to be able to stick the hook in its mouth and get hooked and not bite down on it and be like, what the heck is that, and drop it. So bigger doesn't always mean bigger fish too. So you just need something that will catch the fish that you're trying to get, but you still got to weigh in, like there may be a bigger fish out there that might get hooked onto that. So if you go too small, is the hook going to be not strong enough? If you go too big, is the fish not going to either see it or feel it and let it go and say no thank you? So then you're looking at your strength and your thickness of the hooks. So if the hook is too thick, that fish may decide it's not for me, I'm not going near it, that looks weird, or they may put it in their mouth, and like circle hooks, they set themselves, they may grab it and be like, oh nope, and spit it back right out immediately. So that can happen. So usually I've been using, for like the smaller, like the lane snappers and mangrove snapper and vermilions, I use a 3/0 inline Mustad circle hook, and those are pretty thin. And I use those inshore too for like sheep's head. I've been done real well with that this year, just mainly a lot of inshore fishing and stuff like that, but I have had some issues with that. If I hook into anything like too big, it straightens out that hook, it's bent it, it's broke it. So I've been kind of looking for something that's going to fit in the box that I have here, of it can't be too thick, it can't be too big, and you don't want it too small. So this is what I've kind of found out. I've been doing a little research, and I've been using the Trocar inline circle hooks, 3/0, and those are my go-to for like redfish, black drum, stuff like bluefish, trout, most of them are inshore fish, and it seems to be pretty strong. But then, I've been using like the Mustad 3/0 inline circle hooks for offshore because I've been getting a lot better bites with that over the trocars because it's a smaller hook and it's a thinner metal. So they've just been hitting that thing way better. So I wanted something kind of go in between there, and then I found these hooks. This is the VMC 3X tournament inline circle hooks. This is a 2/0, and they are really strong. They say 3X, they mean it because, well, in not too long ago, I got hooked up on this huge fish, and it was taking me to cleaners. It was like a school bus just taking off. And this is the hook that I had on it. And I had 65-pound braid and 60-pound leader, and the leader wound up breaking before the hook did. So that's got to say something. And just before that, you know, we were catching nice lane snapper and some sheep's head and stuff like that, which the hook is obviously small enough. They're grabbing that, and it's not too thick where they're, you know, dropping it or just taking the bait off. They're getting hooked up on these things. And then also I caught like some nice big red snapper. So they're tough enough to go between the two. So that's kind of what I've really been looking for. So this might be my go-to hook from now on. I'll try. I haven't really tried it much inshore yet, but offshore, it was killing it out there. I was getting the bigger fish. We were getting the smaller fish. Kim caught some nice little vermilions, undersized, and so they were taking it. If they're taking it, you know, anything will. And also got the sheep's head. Sheep's head are awful picky. Those are things that are hard to get. You know, they like to nibble everything off your hook, but we hooked into a couple of those before we called it a day. And so I think, in my opinion, these are probably going to be my go-to. The big thing too is, you know, you got to think about price and stuff like that. There's a lot of other hooks out there, and they can get up to like, you know, 50 cents to $1 a hook. And these are on Amazon. I'll have a link in the description area below. You can go in there and check them out. And I got some 3/0 and 2/0s, but I'll link both of those down. And these were doing pretty well. So these are 25 a pack, and I think they were $12 or $13, which isn't too bad. And I was paying for the Mustad 25 packs. The 3/0s were, I think, maybe like $10 or $11. So it is a little bit more expensive, but these are definitely way sturdier. And you know, there's quite a few times where we're using those 3/0 circle hooks and we're hooking either to some big bull redfish and stuff like that, and they either broke us off or straightened out the hook. There was another time when I was on a fishing charter, and my guest, he hooked into an amberjack, and I'm like, take it easy, because that's it's a light hook. And he finally got it up, and this undersized amberjack had almost straightened out this hook. So, you know, I actually don't have to worry about it with this thing. I'm like, next time somebody hooks up with one of these hooks, I'm like, go ahead and crank them, get them up, because you don't have to take it so easy. And that's another thing too, is like, you know, you got to get these fish up fast sometimes. You got the tax man, the man in the gray suit out there ready to snatch your fish. So you got to get them, and plus some of these guys like to grab that bait and then go run into a hole somewhere and get you hooked, you know, snagged up in the reef, and then you're gone. So you got to get these things up fast, and you don't want to have to worry about that hook straightening out or breaking. So honestly, I think this is a pretty good deal for the buck. The VMC 3X tournament inline non-offset circle hooks seem to be a great deal. Hopefully this was helpful and help you make a decision on what kind of hook you want to use. You know, if you're fishing for sharks, yeah, you're going to use a 7/0, you know, 8/0 circle hook, 2X, 3X strong. I use, you know, the 6/0 inline circle hooks for, you know, when I hook up a grunt and chuck it out the back. If I'm looking for cobia, for barracuda, for kings, and big amberjacks and stuff like that. But for most of these, like, you know, reef fish, the snapper, this is going to be my go-to snapper hook. So that's what we're going to be doing from now on, I think. And I ordered a bunch of them, you know, because I do charters now, and so I go through a lot of hooks. So if you want to go fishing with me, visit saltystrikesfishing.com and you can book your trips there. Thanks for coming along with me, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more info videos like this, and if you want to watch our regular fishing videos, we kind of share all our information as we go. So hit that subscribe button, notification bell, all that fancy jazz. And thanks for coming along with us. And until we see you next time, guys, stay salty.